Hi fellow traders, I hope everybody had a great day today. It was a pretty active day in the market for a while, at least for the morning anyway. Kind of slowed down and topped around here toward the end of the day. But you know, for us, it was a pretty good morning. A lot of good trades taken in the community. Still a little handcuffed with a small account, but we're doing what we need to do. So we're going to take a look at that here in a minute. But question I have for you today is, can you see it? It's very important that you can see your goals. Can you see your dream? Can you see your goals? Can you see yourself living in your dream or living in your ultimate goals? Because when I was a kid in high school and stuff growing up, my dad and my granddad, they were in this organization, and every summer we would be in Charleston on the Ashley River, right here at the marina. And they weren't in the boats, but I would go to summer camp for a couple of weeks every summer, and sailing was a big part of it. So I learned how to sail there, and that's all I wanted to do. I wanted a sailboat, and I worked my butt off, but I could see it. I could see it. I could see myself in it. I could see myself sailing. And I don't like sailing on the lake. I'm talking about in the ocean. I like salt water. So, I know that might be a little bit scary for some people, but I like it. And but if I didn't see it, if I couldn't see myself living my dream, if I couldn't see myself achieving this, it never would have happened. So the more specific question I want to ask you guys is, can you see yourself making winning trades? And the reason why I ask that is because too many traders start the day already defeated, because they don't see themselves making winning trades. They see themselves, they come in the market saying, well, what problem am I going to have today that's going to cause me to lose money? And they don't see themselves winning. They don't see themselves executing trades, executing their plans. They're just looking for all the problems. It's just like, trading in SureTrader. I've been trading in it, this whole month. I haven't had any problems. Nothing. No rejected orders, no nothing. Now, if you're trading this low float garbage, yeah, you're probably going to run into some problems. But I don't trade that. So I don't have any issues, whatsoever. And I don't come into the day looking for issues. I don't log in saying, well, what problems am I going to have today? Because if you're visualizing problems, then you're going to visualize it into existence. And things that aren't even a problem, you're going to make them a problem. So you have to see yourself making winning trades, following your plan. Even if it's a loss, if you followed your plan, that's a successful trade. You have to visualize yourself being consistent. Visualize yourself doing your recaps at the end of the week and being green. You have to see it. And it kind of makes me think about what Sylvester Stallone said in his last Rocky movie. He was telling his son, it's not about how hard you hit, but how hard you can get hit and get back up and keep going. I know that's not word for word, but that's what he meant. And it's the same thing in trading. We're going to get hit. We're going to be sitting there and a brick's going to come through that monitor and knock the hell out of us. But, we still got to get back in our chair and get back after it. Because you see, I went through it. I went through it the first couple of weeks. I got hit with a brick every day. But like I said yesterday, I got sick and tired of it. But I could visualize myself trading the way I know how to trade. I saw it. And, you know, I'm making it come to pass. So it's very, very important that, you know, we can see it. That we can see ourselves being a success. Alright, so let's take a look at what we did this morning. Now CAT I didn't trade, but it was one I would have put on my watch list. It was on earnings. And, you know, I couldn't trade this in my small account. Now, obviously, if I had known we were going to drop 10 points, I would have put 50 shares on it and rode it like a, you know, like a cowboy rides a bucking bronco. And I'd have hung on tight. So, but, you know, you just can't see that. You know, for me, I thought we were going to stop here, bounce a little bit, probably get below here, probably in the 151, 152 range at the most. Had no idea we were going to get, you know, drop over 10 points. Never saw that coming. But again, I couldn't put this on my watch list because it was just too big, you know, too high dollar for my small account. MMM, another one. It wasn't as good of a move, but it did make, you know, a move down. Another one I probably would have put on my watch, you know, if I was trading in my main account, but obviously way too much for us to be looking at. But this should give us, you know, some encouragement, some drive to get to this point where we can trade these stocks. You know, and that's what the ultimate goal is, to get enough capital so we can trade these and we can make good money, because these stocks make big moves, very low risk, you know, a lot less risk than trading these low dollar, low float runners. You know, a lot more, this is a lot more stable and easier to trade. So that's why I trade these. HOG was the one that I did have on watch, but it never really set up for me. It didn't have the volume to start with, so I put it on watch with the notion that if it got volume at open, I would trade it. This is not enough volume. You know, this didn't even get to 400,000 shares in a 5-minute candle. Plus, the candles were, you know, who can trade this? After this big move down, you know, yeah, you could have got in and made some money on this, but that was about it. You know, this was not clean. I could have got into this, but we were running into the 200 here. It was just not that clean of a move, so I chose not to trade it. And if I was going to trade it, it was going to be on a rejection. And as I was watching this, I could not stand the price action. So I stayed out of this. You know, I chose a stock that was on my reversal scanner to trade, you know, the secondary move on. So this is, you know, why I didn't trade HOG, but this was the only one I had on my watch for my small account. Now, we traded INTC, and this was on the reversal scan. Now, I wanted to trade the reversal on it, and I wish I had not blown the chart up so big. But you can see it. If you go back and look at this chart, you'll see where it ran up from the open. And around 53.50 is where it started to have issues. Now, there's a daily pivot around 53.75 that I was looking for it to test. It never got there, so I never really took the entry. It never got close enough to it for me to be comfortable entering. So this is part of the reversal, the big part of the sell-off. Not only did it come back to the VWAP, but, you know, we faded it, ended up losing the 9 and the 20. So I waited for the bounce. I said, you know, this thing is pretty weak. It's probably going to bounce and then sell off some more. And It never did get to the VWAP, but I caught it just under the 9 and the 20 here and made a nice move. Took some profit here according to plan. And my next target was going to be the 200 here. But we ended up turning back around and I got stopped out at break even. Once it's set up again, and this is what I'm talking about, I'm going to stay locked in. I'm not going to chase other stocks. I'm not going to chase what other people are posting. I'm focusing on the stocks that meet my criteria that I'm going to be comfortable trading. And, you know, I waited for it to set up and got in this, got my first cover here and missed it. And I'm going to tell you why I missed it. This is the second time in the last 2 weeks that I was waiting for it to hit the 200 and it didn't hit. And then I realized, and somebody reminded me in chat that, Ed, you don't have the 200 EMA. You still have the SMA. The SMA was at 5160. This bounced off the 200 EMA, and this is where my target should have been. But since I missed it, I went ahead and killed it. And we rejected here and started to sell off. So I waited until we got under this 200 before I got in. We had a nice quick sell off and it got bought right back up. I should have got out of it right then. And, you know, I was saying I really didn't like this candle. But I was going to give it a chance. And we pushed up and I stopped out. Even if I held it, I would have gotten even more of a loss. I'd have had to stop out anyway. But I stopped out at my max loss that I was going to give, which is about 50 bucks. And I reset. And this did go back to the 20, which I felt that it may go back to the 20 before we fade back. So I did give it enough. But I had barely enough room for it to test. It sold back off, came down, and we got some pretty good covers here. I saw the shift in momentum. And if you're in the chat room, if you're following me and you're listening to me, I'm showing you on level 2 and time and sales and on the chart. We're looking at the price action and looking at when there's a sign of a change in momentum. This is what we look for. And I sensed the change in momentum here, and that's where I got out. You know, just as simple as that. And, you know, we were done for the day. I honestly thought I made more money than this. I don't look at my P&L to the end of the day. I thought I had made about 140, 150 bucks, to be honest with you. But I think, you know, this stop out, I didn't really account for that in my head. So that's kind of the difference between me making 100 or 150 bucks. Plus, I had 11 tickets. That's a little high. I like to keep it 8 or less in SureTrader. You can see that, I mean, this isn't bad commissions, but it's bad when you only have $161. You know, it's bad to have $60 in commissions and fees too. Now, I do get a little bit of this back every day, but for everybody else, this is what you pay. So all of my results are going to be based on what everybody else pays, which is the $4.95 per per trade, you know, plus the fees. You know, we're in, you know, United States, so we're going to get the worst fees. It's just the way it is. But if you trade in Thinkorswim, you're going to pay $7 per trade, around about. Now some of you may get better rates now, but the average person is going to pay about $7 per trade. In SureTrader, I pay about $6. So I don't really feel bad with this, not at all. So that was INTC. pretty decent, another $100 day. I'll take it. And the best thing is, I've made in these last 3 days, I've made back, half of what I've lost the first 2 weeks, or the first 2.5 weeks. I made back half the losses. All I need is 2 more days this week out of the 3 days left to do the same thing, and we back green on the month. Just that simple. Just focusing, not trying to get it all back at one time, taking one trade at a time. That's how we're going to build our dreams. Just like I have here, building dreams one trade at a time. That's what it's going to take, guys. You got to focus on one trade at a time. I know when you see these big numbers that people post, they get your attention. Hell, they get my attention. And sometimes it makes me question me, but then I have to realize I got to look at it in context. Number one, I don't see them trades, so I don't know. I can't hold it. I can't have it. It doesn't have merit, put it that way. So, I got to think that way. And we can't do that. We have to focus on us and developing us and doing me. And I'm smiling every month going to the bank. I go once a month, so smile every month, as I send my money to the bank. All right, so on the all-day hold, I chose SHPG because you can see here, this trend line here started back here. This was ascending support. We had a gap down, and at that time it became ascending resistance. So, and then we gapped up into it. This further validated this level. And, here we tried to break over it, but we couldn't hold. Pulled back. Again, here's the day we traded last week. We broke way above it, but look, it couldn't hold it. It sold off and closed back below this line. On Friday, tried it again and couldn't push it. Here's Monday. And then today, we were gapping up into this. I said, if we can't hold it, we're coming back. We're going to come back. So I waited to see if we were going to push up a little bit like this. This wasn't very comfortable when this happened to me. But, we made it work. So I waited. And here is that trend line here. This is yesterday. Here's today. This is a 60-minute chart. This is what I managed these trades on. Okay, here's where we gapped up into that resistance. We pushed over it a little bit. Then we started selling back off. We got up under it. I got in. And, said if we claim this and start to push off of it, I would jump out. But I need to get in these early so that I can focus on day trading and my small account. That's why I get in these so early and try to get this early setup. I don't want this to interfere with my focus, and I don't want anybody to say I'm focusing more on my big account than my small account. That's my number one focus, is to do that so that I can help you guys get to the next level. So I got to get in these a little bit early, and this set up for me to get in early. Now, what really pissed me off this morning is I didn't put in my targets. I put in limit orders for my targets, and yeah, I usually do it closer to the open, and I was waiting to do it closer to the open as well, because that would give me a better idea of where I can place my targets. But I already had targets in mind. 162.50, 160. And I didn't. I got up, went to go fill my coffee cup and stuff. When I got back, this had dropped all the way to 155 and was coming back. Now, if I could mark it in pre-market, I would. But you can't use market orders, so trying to type in a limit order, it just wasn't working. And I guess in this case, having a hotkey would have helped me, but I could not get the limit order typed in. Every time I would try to get close, it kept going up. Pretty soon, it didn't make sense for me to take it off. So I just waited. Long as this held, I felt I was going to be fine. Got my first target down here just on the VWAP. I thought this was going to sell off through to 162.50. But it didn't. It just hit my order here and pulled back a little bit. We started selling off, just couldn't get to 162. And so I had to lighten up here when I started to see the momentum shift, because there's no guarantee that we wouldn't push back up to break even, and it'd be stupid for me to just let it go all the way back up. Since I'm in the profit here, so I lightened up, and we just couldn't get anywhere. So after 2 hours of just being stagnant, I went ahead and took the rest off. And that was it. No need to sit here and deal with this mess. Why? When it's not working. So 774.36, not bad on that. Really could have been a whole lot better. And this is what really irritated me, and that irritation stayed with me for most of the morning. Just missing out on this, because had I nailed this, I wouldn't have had to trade this anymore. I would have been free in this account to trade CAT and would have nailed that sucker. So, when I saw that, my irritation came back. And thankfully, it didn't cause me to make too many mistakes trading. But I was pretty pissed off for missing that. And this would have been no stress. You just have your targets, and it just ran down and hit them. That's all it would have done. All right. Now, my swing trade. Now, this was a product of more frustration. Now, I've been in CAR for 2 weeks. I don't know if you remember. You can go back to the video from a couple weeks ago when I got in this. And I took profit on it one day. And then I added back. And I've been holding this damn thing and holding it and holding it. And it never would resolve. We had this big sell-off here. I didn't get out. Had another big sell-off here. So today, it ran into, now, here's the thing. This, I should have drawn this, but there's a ascending support right here, through here, that even, coming from back here, all the way up, and we lost it. And here, we ran into it today, and it started slamming it back down. So I was like, the hell with this. I'm not holding it anymore. And I took it off. Now, I know it's $1,021.87. But for my capital being tied up for 2 weeks, and that's all I get, no. It's not a good trade. It sucks. So, this left a bad taste in my mouth. This is the second time this stock has done this to me. So, shame on me. It'll never happen again, because I'll never trade it like this again. But, I was pretty mad at this, to say the least. And so, BMY, this is the trade we got in yesterday. It did start to work today. I'm concerned about it pulling all the way back into close. We lost about a point coming into close. And it was looking good. Now this I'm going to have to get out of tomorrow no matter what, because earnings are Thursday. I'm not holding through earnings. I'm not sure. If the earnings are after close, then I'll hold on to it through Thursday. But if it's before market open on Thursday, then I'm taking this off tomorrow. Even though I think it's going to gap up, on earnings, I'm not taking that chance. It's a gamble, and I'm not starting that precedence. So I'm going to do the right thing, take it off tomorrow, and if it offers me more opportunity, then I'll take it. But we've been tracking this for a week now, finally starting to set up. We got another one that we're tracking. Hopefully that one will pay us as well. This will make up for the abbreviated trade that we got on this. But looking for this to give us something tomorrow. If I can get 2 points off this, I'll be happy. I'm not going to complain about it. So, we'll see what happens on that tomorrow. So that does it for me. I hope you guys have a great night, a great evening. And we're going to get back at it first thing in the morning. So we'll see you then.